Hi everyone at Wellspring Community Church. Will sits here again to talk about this week's past message on Father's Day. As some of you might know, I'm a first-time dad now. We had our first son, Noah, born June 12th at 5:05 in the morning. He's doing well. He was having a couple of problems and he was in the hospital for a few days, but we finally did get to take him home after the weekend was over. So just to start this off, I'm going to start this off how the message kind of started with a couple of dad jokes. So if your child is supposed to have nap time, but they're refusing to, does that mean they're resisting arrest? And my second dad joke is, two antennas met on a roof together, fell in love, decided to get married, and the ceremony was okay, but the reception was incredible. So just to kind of recap what was going on, it was between Bernard, Mark Brule, and Andrew, and they pretty much just kind of went into what it's been like for being a dad. So you got the adult children where Pastor Andrew and Mark have, and they've had many years experience, and Bernard is still relatively new as being a father for the past 2 years, and myself has only been about 10-12 days now of being a new dad. So far from what I've experienced, I can definitely relate to how Bernard felt during the whole labor process and the birthing process. I definitely felt more of a protection for my wife Jillian, and wanting to be there for her and comforting her. And I don't want to say that I kind of felt left out during the process, but it was definitely something where when he was born, I definitely didn't feel quite as attached as I know Julian was. It's still, lately hasn't quite felt real. I mean, I'll be going to work, and then when I am going home, then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going home to my family with my wife and child now. When he first came home on the Monday, I know that being very exhausted, I mean, nowhere near as exhausted as Julian was, but to me, some moments I felt where it didn't feel like I really wanted to help in the sense of like, because he was my child, but I wanted to help in the sense because I was helping her out. And lately though, however, now that we've kind of gotten into a routine of things and I've been able to bond with him, I definitely can say that I'm doing better in that sense. And now I can say that I'm doing these things for him because I want to be a good dad for him. Another thing that really spoke out well to me was, it was probably after the first weekend we actually had him home and I had just returned to work, I decided to do a whole evening feeding, and I was just wiped by the time the morning came, and I kind of had a small little mental breakdown where I didn't feel like I was good enough to be a dad, and I was just wondering, how do parents do this all the time? And it definitely was something that was really pushing down on me, and I felt like I'm never gonna get through this without God especially. But listening to Mark and Pastor Andrew talk about being, there's no such thing as the perfect dad, which I do know that, except for God the Father, but it definitely made me feel a little bit better that our two pastors definitely have had their ups and downs with when raising children, and especially to not beat yourself up over some of the smaller details, and knowing that you have to be there for them, just to love them and support them, and to really just be there when it counts. And lately I've just been looking forward to coming home, spending time with him, spending time with Jillian, and just learning and growing together as a family. And I'm really looking forward to when he grows up a little bit more, and then we get to have dinner at the dinner table. And another thing that Pastor Mark did talk about that really resonated with me was the whole idea of a lot of the reasons why younger men fall away from faith is because their dad is different in the home than they are from church. From my own personal opinions, that did kind of resonate with me. I did go through almost a falling out of faith during college, and I did struggle with it, but eventually did come back to it in my early 20s. And so I want to be the best dad that I can be, and then show that example of God's love and Jesus and everything. I want to be able to encompass all of that as much as I can, and to be a good leader and to be a provider and loving support for my son, especially in the years to come. And I definitely want to be someone who is who I am, whether I'm in church or I'm out of church, because I definitely want to show a very strong suited path in the Christian field. And other than that, I look forward to hopefully meeting you guys all soon again once the services start back up. And if you can't hear, my wife is recording my video, and he's just kind of giggling over there in the corner. But thanks, everyone.